Welcome back to the Conspiracy Couple podcast. I'm Marissa.
And I'm Ethan.
And today we have another very exciting episode for you guys. But before we get started, as always, make sure you're following us on our social medias. We have Instagram, which is Conspiracy Couple. And on that Instagram, you will find updates on the show. You'll find pictures of our cats. You'll find pictures of us. And we just posted a really cute TikTok for Nova's birthday.
You posted one.
I posted it. I
on your
made
TikTok,
it.
But
I
because we don't have a TikTok.
No, we don't have a TikTok.
For our
no.
Whatever we are.
For our podcast.
Yeah.
For our podcast.
I forgot, the word.
Yeah. Anyways, speaking of that, Nova just turned 1. We made up her birthday, so we think she turned 1.
They don't need to know.
Well, I mean,
there was no way for us to know her birthday. She was found
outside. We weren't there. I mean, she was found at a winery. She was a
wilderness cat.
Yeah. So we made up a birthday, and we had a birthday party, and it was really fun. So
I don't know if she thought it was fun.
No, she had a blast. No, 100%. She had a blast.
It's debatable.
If you're a listener and you were at the birthday party, let us know if you think Nova had a good time. I also forgot to mention our Twitter. I just realized that.
That's fine.
But that doesn't matter because nobody cares about our Twitter.
I don't think I've posted on Twitter in a while.
Yeah, nobody cares about our Twitter.
We basically don't have a Twitter. Unless you want us to have a Twitter, you can let us know on Instagram or via email.
Yeah.
Also, we got an email from a fan?
I don't know.
We got an email from somebody introducing themselves, but that was all they said. So we were a little confused by it. So that was you. We're sorry we didn't respond because we were just kind of confused. But hello.
Hi. Any other updates?
No.
Okay, I'm going to assume that long pause means no.
Well, what about me saying no?
No. That doesn't factor into my thought at all.
Okay.
Also, we are super, super close to hitting 10,000 total downloads on our podcast. And
pretty cool.
First of all, that's crazy. Second of all, thank you. Yeah. And third of all, help us get to 10,000. Keep listening. If you are listening to this episode currently, continue listening to it.
Have your friends listen.
Yes.
Pull up your second phone and put it on there.
Yeah.
If you have one.
I mean, I don't think most people do, but if you happen to have a
tell your mom about the podcast and have her listen.
Tell your mom. Yes. My mom doesn't listen.
Neither does mine.
But maybe your mom will.
My mom thinks it's too long.
My mom doesn't know how to use any of the podcast streaming platforms.
Speaking of podcast streaming platforms, Spotify.
Oh,
we were looking at the details for Spotify. So I was trying to see if anybody left any ratings. Mm-hmm. Couldn't figure it out.
No.
I have no idea how to check.
We're very Spotify illiterate.
It just wasn't on the analytics page. Anyway, we did, because we hadn't checked in a while, we found out that we have 236 followers on Spotify. So thank you.
Thank you.
There's way more than we thought we would ever have.
Yeah. I feel like as we continue to get more followers, we should stop saying that we're surprised.
No. I think we should just always be surprised.
We're always going to be, yeah. As my mom used to say, set your expectations low and they'll always be exceeded. True. And I live by that. I
had 0 expectations, so anything exceeds my expectations.
That's right. So, anyways.
Thank you to all of you who subscribe or follow us on other things like YouTube, which you should subscribe and like. And
yes.
Turn on notifications.
Turn on post notifications. Yeah.
I don't know if you mentioned that or not. I wasn't listening.
I didn't. If you're not watching us on YouTube, we have a YouTube. It is Conspiracy Couple Podcast, and you can see video versions of these podcasts.
We're getting better at it.
By we, you mean you.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
I have no involvement. So today on the podcast, we are going to be discussing a theory that we actually mentioned in our Antarctica Theories episode. I can't remember if it was part 1 or part 2. But that theory is the Hollow Earth Theory.
Oh.
Also, apparently, if you didn't listen to those episodes, you may have heard about the Hollow Earth theory in the Godzilla vs. Kong movie.
That's right. Mm-hmm. I did. I watched that movie.
Yes, how was it?
They fought, so that's all I wanted.
I truly don't know a single thing about that movie, except that in my research, it came up that apparently in that movie, this question of where do these mega monsters come from was answered by the Hollow Earth theory. That these mega monsters
at least
come from Hollow
Godzilla.
Earth.
I don't know about the other ones, but I don't know if I was paying that
The
close of
other
attention.
ones. That means there could be more.
There were other monsters. Well, first there were other monsters in the Hollow Earth, and there were like multiple monsters.
Are there multiple Godzillas?
I think there's only one Godzilla.
One of a kind.
I think he's like.
He's unique.
Well, he had to have had like a mom, right?
I don't know.
I don't
lizards,
remember.
Don't lizards lay eggs?
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, not important.
I don't really know how Godzilla.
We should probably talk about the actual theory,
yeah,
and not our theories about this movie.
About the origins of Godzilla.
Our theories
and
about
he has
a dumb
mom.
movie.
So Ethan, as always, do you know anything about the Hollow Earth theory?
It's hollow. The Earth is hollow, and there's probably something inside. Like maybe Godzilla. No, King Kong. I mean.
Maybe.
Big monkey.
So basically, the theory is the Earth is hollow on the inside.
That's what I just said.
Yes, and inside it contains a different world or different worlds while we live on the surface. So basically there's our world and then there's the world inside that we don't know about. So one website I looked at described the Earth as a shell, and the walls of the shell are about 800 miles thick. And another...
that thick.
I feel like that's thick, but I feel like it's not thick.
Well, I don't know.
Anyways, another website used a description that I really liked, and that was picture an eggshell with no yolk inside.
An eggshell?
An eggshell.
So an eggshell with nothing inside.
No, because eggs aren't just yolk.
So, but
There's the egg white.
But why is the white inside?
Okay, so think of like a hard-boiled egg. So you have the shell, and then inside the hard-boiled egg, you have the white, and then you have the yolk. Now, if you took the yolk out of that hard-boiled egg... So what is the
shell and what is the white?
The shell is where we live. We live on the eggshell. The white doesn't matter. The yolk is the hollow earth, and we live on the eggshell.
So it's like a Kinder egg.
The world is a hard-boiled egg.
No, it's like a Kinder egg.
I've never had a Kinder egg.
But a Kinder egg.
Is it a Cadbury cream egg?
No. A Kinder egg is like a chocolate egg, but it has a toy inside. So it's hollow. It has a toy inside.
The Earth is a Kinder egg.
And so yeah, because then it's a shell, and there's something on the inside. But it's not like,
I like the Earth as a hard-boiled egg.
Well, I think Earth is a Kinder egg.
What kind of egg do you think the Earth is? Hard-boiled? Kinder?
That's
soft-boiled, perhaps?
Scrambled?
No, it's not scrambled. There's no shell in a scrambled egg, hopefully. If you have shell in your scrambled egg, that's not what it's supposed to be like.
I think they probably know
Cooking
that.
chips with Marissa.
I think they know that. Oh.
Okay. We did medicine with Marissa one episode. We're doing geology with Marissa this episode, and we did cooking with Marissa. So, we also mentioned with our Antarctica episode that there is the belief that the hollow earth has entrances around the world.
Like in Antarctica.
So there's entrances to the inner world all around the earth. And apparently, a person could fall into or enter the entrance to the hollow earth and not even know it, because the entrances are pretty big. So, like, imagine you're just walking.
So, if that's the case, then why haven't more people, found it and come back?
How come more people haven't fallen into the earth? Anyways.
And how does gravity work, then?
Okay, we gotta reel it back in. You gotta just slowly kind of dip our feet in.
Asking the questions and you're not willing to ask.
I do ask them.
Oh.
And apparently you could possibly see the entrances to the hollow earth from the air, but pilots never do see them because their compasses trick them into believing that they're just flying over one of the poles. So you're flying on a plane, right? You can see big hole in the ground.
But why does the compass have anything to do with that? The compass doesn't
Magnetic
change.
anomalies.
The compass doesn't change how my eyes work. Said you can see it, but the compass tricks you into thinking you're looking at a
I saw
pole.
that, but
the compass
said I didn't. I don't know, man. Maybe the compass does change how your eyes work. I've never actually flown a plane.
Because they don't have your mind's eye open.
Anyways, many people believe that the opening is at the North Pole, while some people think there's just one.
Santa lives.
Santa lives inside the Earth. Okay? So many people think that the opening...
That's how he's able to get everywhere.
Yeah.
He's on the inside.
Yeah, he just...
Actually kind of makes sense.
He just kind of pops out. Yeah. So some people think there's only one entrance, and that's in the North Pole. Others think that there's one in the Himalaya Mountains. Other people think that there's a lot around the world. And one website I saw listed locations in Kansas, Brazil, and the Pyramids of Giza.
Kansas makes sense, because why would anyone go there?
People live there, Ethan.
Not by choice.
That is not true. That is not true. But the question is, isn't Kansas pretty flat?
Yeah, it's very flat.
Okay.
It's like extremely flat.
If any of our listeners are from Kansas, wouldn't you notice if there was a gaping hole somewhere in your otherwise very flat terrain? Like, I feel like you would notice that. Right? Like in the Pacific Northwest, we have like mountains and trees and... Anyways, some people who believe this theory think that the Earth is pretty much just hollow inside. So there's nothing inside, it's just hollow. While others think that there are civilizations that live inside of the Earth, and that those civilizations live in an atmosphere that's pretty similar to what we experience on the surface.
How?
Like weather-wise.
How?
We'll get into that.
How can there be weather inside the Earth?
There is a sun.
Inside the Earth?
Inside the Earth. A small sun inside the Earth.
I don't think they realize how far away the sun is from us.
We're going to get into it, but there is apparently a small sun inside the Earth. Other people think there are civilizations that live inside the Earth, and they're very advanced. And they may even be responsible for creating UFOs rather than aliens in the universe.
Then why don't they live on the outside? Where it's
know.
probably better.
So the question is, why would they send out UFOs? If they have this technology, why are they sending it out? Well, the answer that they give is to explore the surface of the Earth and to send messages to us living on the surface with the goal of preventing nuclear war, which would obviously not only destroy our world, but theirs.
Would it, though? It's not like nuclear war just breaks the Earth apart.
Well...
How would it destroy their world?
I feel like... I don't know. But I feel like here's the thing.
I feel like I don't know.
If they're trying to prevent nuclear... Like, if they're trying to, like, prevent war...
I mean, I'm not against them trying to prevent nuclear war. I'm just curious about how that affects them.
So they just come out...
Oh, they just knew us.
So they send the UFO, and does the UFO, like, have a sign? Like, I just don't...
No war.
I just don't understand, like, obviously, like, I am against nuclear war.
I would hope so.
But I just don't understand how sending out a UFO and then not providing any information with the UFO...
Right.
Stops is supposed to help anything. Like, it's to send out messages... But where's the message? Like, the whole thing is that they're hidden. Nobody talks about, like, if you talk about the UFOs, then you're a loon. So
if that's their intention, they're pretty bad at it.
You guys need to be a little clearer when you're sending messages out.
You need to be better.
No, just, like, more clear. Better. Okay, anyways.
I expect more from you.
I'm just going to keep going, Ethan. So, a lot of people who believe in this theory that the Earth is hollow also think that the moon, sun, and other planets are hollow as well.
Did you see that the moon got hit by a satellite?
No.
It did.
Okay.
On the backside of the moon that we don't see.
Oh.
It's true.
Where all of the Nazis live.
So they're all dead because they got hit by a satellite.
So we're going to talk about this more, but there have been a number of attempts by explorers and believers of this theory to find the hollow earth or to find the entrance to the hollow earth.
And if these entrances are so big, you would have thought that they would have found them.
You would have thought. Apparently they have. We're going to talk about one of our old friends, so just stay tuned.
Gregor? I forgot the guy's name.
No, we're going to talk about one of our good friends. Our old friends. I mean, I wouldn't say we're good friends. I wouldn't
say we're friends at all.
I don't think he's alive.
Never met the guy.
I haven't either. So the question is, what is inside the hollow earth? So some people, I'm just going to list what people believe.
Okay.
A tropical paradise, the Garden of Eden, or a paradise that resembles the Garden of Eden, a race of 12-foot-tall superhumans who have achieved the feat of avoiding all sicknesses altogether, an advanced race of humans or aliens that could be descended from ancient alien races, or could be descended from the lost tribes of Israel. Some people think these civilizations are more friendly, while others think they are more hostile.
The lost tribes of Israel?
Yeah, they moved into the hollow earth.
What lost tribes?
Yeah, I was like looking at that because as far as I can tell,
there are no lost tribes.
From my reading of scripture, they're all accounted for.
Yeah, where is this lost tribe coming from?
Yeah, I didn't look too much into that because I was like, okay, this is going to take me down a rabbit hole.
I guess there is a part in Exodus where some people are like swallowed by the earth. So maybe that's what they're in reference to. But that's not a tribe.
Oh. Some people think that there are Vikings in the hollow earth. Okay. So this was interesting. So this is a theory that centers around a group of Vikings who settled in Greenland in about 985 AD. So this group of Vikings lived in that settlement successfully until the 15th century, when all contact with them was suddenly lost. And there are a lot of theories regarding what may have happened to them, but ultimately no one knows whether they were even still alive when they lost contact. And of course, this led to a lot of mystery and theories about mystical forces at work in the area that could have led to their disappearance. And this area was kind of near the North Pole, and the natural phenomenon that occurred there was confusing and scary to the European traders who had lost contact with them. So just think of a bunch of like 15th century European traders. It was a very superstitious time. There's this group of Vikings that go and settle in North Greenland. It was called North Greenland. You lose contact with them. It's in an area by the North Pole. There's all these strange mystical natural phenomenon that they wouldn't have had in Europe. And they're like, okay, something happened.
Right.
It's kind of like a lost colony of Roanoke thing.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. So, enter the hollow earth with entrances at the poles. So, one of the theories, now this is not a popular theory, but this is just one of the theories, perhaps there was some kind of natural disaster that came upon them. The Norse Greenlanders went into the hollow earth and made their home there. And they could still be living there, apparently.
Okay.
So we got 12-foot-tall superhumans, and we got Vikings.
And apparently some lost tribes of Israel.
Lost
how? Don't know.
And the Garden of Eden. It's all in there.
And a tropical paradise.
Somehow. And Nazis.
They're everywhere, man.
So remember, we've discussed them being a lot of places. We've discussed them being the moon. We've discussed them being in Antarctica. Argentina. Now we're discussing them in the hollow earth. So there were a lot of theories surrounding whether Adolf Hitler and the Nazis were able to escape.
Right.
At the end of World War II, we've talked about that. And there is the question of whether they made it to Antarctica and found an entrance to the hollow earth and have been living there.
Why do so many people want the Nazis to have survived?
I don't think they want them to.
But they keep on coming up with theories that they did. So...
I just think that...
But there's literally no evidence. I guarantee you. I mean, we haven't talked about it yet.
We do know that there are Nazis who fled to Argentina.
Well, yeah. I'm not saying every single Nazi died. But what I'm saying is, why do they think there's all these theories about where the Nazis fled to and how the Nazis escaped? like large groups of Nazis. I'm like, why do you think they did?
And don't you think they would have tried to make a comeback?
It's so confusing to me.
I will say, I do think that it's possible that Hitler survived.
I know, you already said that.
I think that's possible. But anyways, so people think that the Nazis, Hitler maybe was there. But regardless, there was a group of Nazis who made it to Antarctica, went into the Hollow Earth, established a base, and made contact with the advanced civilizations in the Hollow Earth. And then they were given access to advanced technology and weaponry. So that's one theory. Other people think that there might be woolly mammoths and other creatures that don't currently exist in our world.
Oh, this is a separate to the Nazis.
Yeah, it's not
okay.
woolly
I was like,
mammoth
what does that
Nazis.
have to do with Nazis?
It's just woolly mammoths separately.
If woolly mammoths are Nazis, I need to rewatch Ice Age with a completely different lens.
They're not.
Okay, good to know.
They are extinct.
Well, yeah, so we're not. Well, I guess
they're not.
Yeah.
Anyways.
They should be.
And then finally the question of, how do they have a tropical paradise? Well, we have a small sun in the earth that creates a livable habitat for those living inside. A small sun. Anyways. So now we're going to
Scientifically impossible.
Anyways. We're going to talk about the origins. How did this theory get started? So in the 17th century, we had a man named Edmund Halley. Yes, that is the Halley's Comet guy.
Oh.
Yes. So he was the first person to really come up with this theory.
Okay.
And he had the idea that the earth was hollow and that it was made up of many layers or shells within it. So we have the earth, it's hollow, and there's like layers.
Like onions and ogres. They have layers.
A Shrek reference.
Uh-huh.
Really?
It's a good one.
I do not like Shrek. Okay.
No, don't say that on the podcast.
I'm going to. I don't like Shrek. Anyways.
We're about to lose most of our followers.
I don't understand the appeal of the movie.
I like Shrek. It's okay.
I don't understand why people get so defensive about this movie. It's objectively, it's not a very good movie. Like, I don't get the appeal.
Hold on. You're saying objectively it's not? How are you the judge of objectively
like,
what is
when
a good
you're
movie
watching
and
a
what's not
movie
good
that's
movie?
like, this is a piece of art. Shrek?
Yes.
Shrek.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I've never understood why that people like that movie.
You can't say objectively it's
yes,
not
I can.
a good movie.
I just did. Anyways, Edmund Halley, Halley's Comet guy. So he proposed the theory in 1692.
When did he discover the comet?
I don't know when he discovered the comet. I had to take a yawn break.
Quick yawn break. Take one with us at home.
I'm so tired.
Well, let's keep going.
So he proposed this theory in 1692 after he had findings of unexplainable compass readings. And his theory boiled down to the idea that Earth is a bunch of spherical shells nested within each other, similar to a Russian nesting doll, that spun in different directions and surrounded a core in the middle.
Okay.
So it's like the hollow Earth, but more complicated.
Okay.
And he also said that the space between the different shells contained atmospheres that allowed for life to flourish and be sustained within the Earth on all of the inner spheres. All of the inner shells, I mean. And he also hypothesized that the aurora borealis is gas that escapes from the entrance to the hollow Earth. So, 1692, we have Edmund Halley. And next we have, in the 18th century, a man named Leonhard Euler. And he was a mathematician. And he also said the Earth is hollow and that advanced civilizations live within the Earth.
Why?
And in 1818, we have the most famous supporters and proponents of the hollow Earth theory, which is John Cleves Symes Jr. So he basically took Halley's ideas and expanded upon them adding on that he believed there were two entrances to the Earth's interior, at the North and the South Poles. And these entrances came to be known as Symes's Holes in honor of him.
Good name.
No. And
really bad.
He also believed that not only was the Earth hollow, but that all planetary bodies had hollow interiors. A really famous quote from him is, "I declare that the Earth is hollow and habitable within. I pledge my life in support of this truth and am ready to explore the hollow." So that was like...
He created his own Declaration of Independence?
I declare...
Or Pledge of Allegiance?
Bankruptcy. That's all I was thinking.
I thought that too. He made his own Pledge of Allegiance to the hollow Earth.
I don't think he made a Pledge of Allegiance.
Yes, he did.
A pledge...
What did he say? Where is it?
I pledge my life...
I declare that the Earth is hollow and habitable, and I pledge my life in support of this truth.
Yeah, he did pledge his life.
And the other stuff.
So, he was, like, committed. And
that's so weird.
He planned a voyage to explore and look for the entrance to the hollow Earth at the North Pole, stating that he believed he would find the interior of the Earth to be, quote, stocked with thrifty vegetables.
Thrifty?
I don't know what that means. And animals, if not men.
What?
So he thought that there was going to be thrifty vegetables, animals, and maybe people.
I see. What's a thrifty vegetable?
I really don't know. You got a good deal on it, I guess.
I expect great bargains in the hollow Earth.
When I go to the hollow Earth, everything's on sale.
It's clearance, baby.
He even got a group of supporters big enough to get Congress to vote on funding his expedition.
Did they?
No, they voted against it. But they voted on it. They just voted against it.
Good.
Unfortunately, his voyage never occurred, and he passed away without completing it.
Darn.
Which is, like, kind of sad. But then at the same time...
I don't feel bad for you if you're that
but here's
wrong.
the thing. We're going to talk more about this. What was inside of the Earth was not known until after this. Like, scientists had no way of figuring that out until the 1900s.
Yeah.
So, this could have been reasonable. Like, it wasn't crazy.
Well, yeah. No, I'm not saying it's crazy.
But then at the same time, I think...
He would have probably died going to try and find the hollow Earth
imagine
anyway.
how sad his whole life. He's like, I pledge my life to find the hollow Earth. And then he doesn't find it. Like, wouldn't that be sad?
Probably better that he died before he even had the chance to go be wrong.
To be disappointed.
Yeah, so it's a good thing that he died.
It's just kind of sad. I'm like, either way, I mean, he didn't get to go on the voyage, but he also didn't have to be disappointed. So I don't know. I mean, I feel kind of bad for him.
I don't. People die.
So, anyways, Ethan, that was so sad. That was so mean.
It's just true.
Anyways, Rodney Clough was another famous hollow earther.
This guy's got interesting names.
He took up Symes's cause and continued on his quest to find the truth. And he stated that he came to his conclusion regarding the hollow earth through studying science, history, and scripture. And he was so dedicated to this that he moved his entire family from Nebraska to Alaska, including his wife and their 5 children.
I think that's the first time I've ever noticed how similar Nebraska and Alaska are.
I was typing it. I didn't even realize it.
It's interesting.
Yeah, Nebraska to Alaska.
Alaska.
And so he took his wife, his 5 kids, and they moved to Alaska in order to be closer to finding the answers he was looking for. And apparently he was not the only person who moved to Alaska looking for the hollow earth. The last frontier is Alaska.
That was space.
That's the final frontier.
Is that different than the last frontier?
Okay. Alaska is the last frontier. That's like its state tagline. Space, the final frontier, is a tagline for Star Trek: The Next Generation.
I understand that. It's saying
very different.
Last and final they mean the same thing.
Oh, it's different. Anyways, so
you can't have a last frontier and then also a final frontier. Those can't exist at the same time.
I am going to continue. They're different.
I understand
the
that
final
the
frontier
words...
is from Star Trek.
I know what it's from. I've watched Star Trek. I'm saying that the words mean the same thing.
I'm moving on. Anyways.
I'm right.
So he was the author of a book called World Top Secret, Our Earth is Hollow, and was quoted as saying, "My conception of the hollow Earth, based on my research, is that shell of the Earth is about 800 miles thick, from the outside to the inner surface. Suspended in the center of that hollow is an interior sun that is divided by day and night sides. The other part of the hollow Earth theory is that near the north and south poles are substantial openings that lead into the interior."
So not only is there a sun inside the Earth, it's a sun that has an offside.
Light or day and night sides.
Yeah. So this obviously was before they figured out how the sun works.
Well, yeah, this is like the 1800s.
Yeah. Because the sun just doesn't have.
The sun has an off switch, so you can dim
Not
it
even
on
an
one
off
side.
switch, an off side.
You dim it on one side.
An entire side
Yeah.
that just. That's not how the sun works.
It's efficient.
It's not how the sun works.
When you don't have that much space, you have to be efficient.
The sun is a ball of fire and energy.
Spatially efficient. Anyways.
But that's not how it works.
So Clough also states that...
I don't blame him for being wrong about that because they didn't understand yet.
No. He also states that those who live inside the Earth live very peaceful lives and have flying saucer technology. They live lives of perfect health for hundreds of years. Their science is much more advanced because they live much longer lives.
All this theory is people just making things up.
This kind of feels like circular reasoning. They live longer lives because their science is more advanced, which makes them live longer lives.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's circular reasoning.
But why is he saying all these things about the hollow Earth?
He says more.
He hasn't even found.
He says more. He also says that in describing the vegetation and wildlife, it's basically perfect. The conditions are perfect. The animal life is very expansive and advanced. The temperature is always perfect. Trees grow up to thousands of feet tall, and men grow up to 15 feet tall.
Why?
Because their technology is advanced.
But where is he getting any of this?
Research.
What? Researching what?
I don't know.
This makes no sense. This is just making things up.
Everything is perfect. And people live long lives. And they are very tall. Okay. There are no short kings in the Hollow Earth.
Why?
Not a single short king to be found in the Hollow Earth.
He's literally just like, yeah, I think this is how it is. So it's how it is.
Through research, history, and
There's
scripture.
no research. There's no history. And there's no scripture that says anything about this. There's nothing about the inside of the Earth.
Well, apparently he got a group together. And, actually he said this. Take back everything you said about him not knowing better.
Oh my gosh.
I forgot about this. So he was planning to go on his own expedition to explore the North Pole in 2007.
What? What?
Sorry.
2007? This guy.
I was wrong.
When did he start, you said?
1864.
Wait.
I don't know.
When did he...
I didn't have a date.
Oh.
I just had his name.
So this guy is obviously well after.
Well, yeah, you can't be
Rodney
be born after this guy, and then you can't be born in 1864 and die in 2007.
I know, I understand
unless you
that.
live in the Hollow Earth.
I understand that. This guy, oh gosh.
So his voyage was full of setbacks and calamities, such as members of the expedition getting sick or dying in mysterious circumstances like plane crashes, as well as stockholders withdrawing their money. So he said that these setbacks were the work of a massive conspiracy to cover this up and prevent anyone from exploring.
Sure, bud. Sure.
So, 1864, we're jumping back in time.
Because you didn't know that guy.
No, because of how I wrote it out. So we have Jules Verne. He is an author.
That sounds familiar.
He published the book, the science fiction book, Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Yeah.
And that discussed the idea that there were civilizations living inside of the Earth.
But did he actually believe that?
This was a science fiction book.
So he didn't actually believe that.
And this book really influenced a whole genre of sci-fi that continued on with the Hollow Earth idea. So I just put him in because he's notable.
Fair.
Again, we have our good buddy, Admiral Richard Byrd.
We don't know enough about this guy to call him our friend.
Buddy. Our dude.
What if he's like really awful?
Again, we have Admiral.
This guy.
Our dude.
That we've already talked to. Oh, he's not my dude. You can be your dude. He's
Admiral
not mine.
Richard Byrd.
I don't have any claim to him because I don't know
Okay.
anything about him other than the fact that he went to Antarctica.
Okay.
And
Did you guys keep the diary and cardboard cutout that we told you to get
I cannot believe you
in our
remember all
Antarctica episode?
that. I don't remember saying any of those
This
things.
is the time.
As soon as we publish our podcast, I forget everything
Okay.
we said.
Now is the time where you get out the diary that you have probably read and taken copious notes on, and you get out your cardboard cutout of Admiral Byrd. Now you do. Get out your cardboard cutout, and we're going to revisit Admiral Byrd.
All right, let's talk about him.
So if you did not listen to those episodes and you have no idea who Admiral Byrd is...
Stop listening and go listen to them.
No, don't do that.
No,
so
do, and then
he
come back.
was a famous Arctic explorer who apparently kept a journal detailing his voyages
Diary.
and his communications with the leaders of the civilizations living in the Hollow Earth. And apparently, you can buy a copy of that journal on Amazon.
What do you mean apparently? We found it.
We found it on Amazon. Side note.
And sent it to all our listeners.
Side note. The publisher for Admiral Byrd's journal needs to start giving us some kickback because this is like the 5th time we've mentioned this journal and told you exactly where to buy it.
I think it's like the 2nd or 3rd time.
We've talked about it a lot.
In the last 3 episodes.
So if you are the publisher of Admiral Byrd's journal and you sell it on Amazon, we are expecting some kickback.
That is if any of our listeners actually bought the book. Because we didn't.
Also, if you are a company that manufactures cardboard cutouts of Admiral Byrd, we want some kickback from that too. Anyways.
That's a very niche company. All they do is print cardboard cutouts of this guy.
Well, maybe they have other historical figures they do cutouts of.
I don't think so. Just
okay, so that's all I'm saying. That's
this guy that barely anybody knows
That's my
about.
pitch. So if you guys want to talk to us about a deal, you know
Use
our
promo
email.
code Conspiracy Couple at checkout for the cardboard cutouts of Admirable Byrd. Admirable
Byrd.
Let's keep going.
Let's keep going. So apparently, in one of his voyages to the North Pole, he found these areas of greenery that should not have been there. And when he was exploring Antarctica, he found the entrance to the Hollow Earth and found an advanced civilization that lived in the Hollow Earth, as well as advanced aircraft. Now, this freaked him out, and they left Antarctica early. And when he returned from his voyage, he was taken to Washington, D.C., apparently, and basically told to shut up and stop talking about this. So, I mean, he went on this expedition to Antarctica. He, for whatever reason, got freaked out, left. And apparently, he was told to shut it when he got back.
Yikes.
So, that's the history, the Hollow Earth in history. The concept,
I don't know. Never mind.
Okay. The concept or idea of the Hollow Earth is not a new concept to any of these men, but it is a concept that has a very heavy presence in mythology, religion, and stories from ancient civilizations around the world. So first we have Buddhism. And in Buddhism, there's a place called Agartha or Agarthi, I hope I pronounced those right, which is an inner world that contains an advanced race with vehicles that move throughout their civilization. And this race of people also has representatives who will occasionally come to the surface of the earth to visit and see the progress of the human race. Tibetan mythology discusses a place called Shambhala, which is a civilization inside the earth where all people live in harmony with one another. In ancient Greek civilization, the inside of the earth was the place where the souls of the dead went. And they also had a belief that there were caverns that served as entrances to the underworld or the netherworld, which was the realm of the dead. And in the past, a lot of religions believed that hell, or their version of hell, was located within the earth, and other historical societies believed that their ancestors had come from within the earth to create their societies on the surface. And many ancient civilizations also had mythology or folklore that featured groups of people or worlds within the earth. Mexican legend that depicted demonic creatures. I'm going to restart that sentence. There was a Mexican legend that depicted demonic creatures that lived in the way down deeps, or inside the earth. And the concept of the hollow earth is also depicted in the famous work of Dante, Inferno, in which he states that the hollow...
Dante's Inferno?
Dante's Inferno.
Oh.
In which he states that the hollow earth was caused by Lucifer falling from heaven.
Okay.
So that is the hollow earth in history and mythology. And religion, I guess. So we know scientifically that the earth is in fact not hollow. So
do we?
How many of you guys took geology class in college? How many of you guys actually...
Oh, in college? Wait.
You did.
I did?
Yes.
I don't know if I did.
I know you did. We both did.
How do you know?
Oh, no, you didn't, because I was mad that I had taken you didn't.
I didn't.
Okay.
I take the
how
special
many
classes.
of you guys actually paid attention to geology class in college? So I'm going to be honest.
Big old rocks.
Geology was actually the very first class I took at university. It was my first class in the morning, my first class of my first quarter at university. And I spent more time trying to figure out if the baseball player sitting next to me thought I was cute. He didn't. But
How do you know?
you could just kind of tell. He thought that I was smart, and so he wanted to cheat off me, but I wasn't paying attention.
Damn.
I was not doing well.
So he thought wrong.
You got it wrong.
That you were smart.
No, I'm smart, just not in geology. Like, I don't know. So my apologies if you love geology. It didn't hold my interest.
If you love rocks, good for you.
Okay, there's more to it than that, Ethan.
No, it's just rocks.
So if you did pay attention in geology, you know that one of the subjects discussed is the core of the earth. Unfortunately, we are not going to do geology with Marissa.
That's fine.
Because I don't know anything.
Because you don't have...
Because I don't get it. Anyways, we are going to do a very brief discussion of what is inside the earth.
Okay.
Sorry. So first, we have to mention gravity. And, of course, Sir Isaac Newton. So I'm not going to go into too much of the details of how gravity ties into proving the inside of the earth is not hollow. But basically, the gravity is tied to the mass of an object. So the Earth's gravity is tied to the mass of the Earth. So basically, if the Earth was hollow inside, the Earth would have less mass, and gravity wouldn't be as strong as it is now. So if gravity is weak, then you can't be grounded, and if it was weak enough, we could all be kind of floating around. So one of the websites I referenced described the inside of the earth as similar to a candy, with the outside chocolate being the crust, which is thin and made up of rocks. And then the inside. So we have the thin outside, or if you will...
You just said inside. Inside.
We're going to get there, but geology is not my strong suit.
So we have the outside, which is hard, and it's covered in rocks, and we have the inside. You know, the inside.
Okay, so I'm getting there. Okay, so there are...
You were like describing it.
There are 4 layers to the inside of the earth. We have the upper mantle, the outer core, and the inner core. So the mantle and the upper mantle are thick and made of molten rock.
Yes.
The outer core is liquid and the inner core is solid. So Donald Prothero, a geologist and paleontologist, has spoken out about the hollow earth theory in the past. In regards to the inside of the earth, he stated, quote, "Since the 1940s and earlier, we have known that the earth is not only solid, but incredibly dense. So no human could go more than a few hundred meters in the crust before being killed by the heat and pressure." So, I mean, the 1940s, that's pretty recent.
Yes, it is.
It's very recent.
80 years ago.
Yeah. My grandpa was alive in the 1940s. He was alive when they learned all this stuff.
Good for him.
Good for him. Holly Folk. I don't know why that was so weird.
Folk.
It was so weird for me to see. So Holly Folk is a professor at Western Washington University.
Western.
And she stated that, quote, there are some Native American tribes in the Southwest who believe that all human beings came from inside the world, end quote. So I think I should have put that in the mythology section. But
Probably.
I just thought it was cool because 90% of both of our families went to Western Washington University.
90?
Your parents, your sister, my sister.
Yeah.
My mom didn't go to college.
Yeah, Mark didn't go to Western.
No.
That's not 90.
That's a lot. But yeah, there's a lot of people in our family that went to college. They went to college at Western.
4 of the 8?
Well, take
That's
out mom because she
50%.
didn't go to college.
But no, she still counts because she didn't go to Western.
Count. She didn't
Yes,
go
she
to college.
does, but she didn't go to Western.
Anyways, I put that in the wrong
50%.
section, but
Not 90.
I put that in the wrong section of this, and I didn't even catch it. Anyways, so as I was saying, interesting thing is that these discoveries weren't made until the early to mid 1900s. So up until then, people didn't know what was under the ground or within the earth.
Okay.
So it would have made sense for people like Edmund Halley and Symes to be like, oh, it could be hollow. I mean, I don't know. There was no way to really tell. And the fact that we haven't fully explored the inside of the earth or been able to drill all the way down into it makes people question whether the scientists can really be so sure.
Because we would die.
Yeah, but they're like, well, you haven't gone all the way in, so...
Because we would die.
I mean, I think until there's a drill that goes all the way down.
There's never going to be.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying.
That's what I'm saying.
So I guess the question here is, why have we never interacted with the members of the Hollow Earth or gone into the holes?
Well, maybe we have.
Well, the governments don't want us to and are covering up any information pertaining to it.
Of course they don't, because they gain a lot from that, don't they?
Yeah, my question, here's the thing.
This is always the question.
Why would they do that? Because if we have a whole other world that has these incredible natural resources and advanced people with advanced technology, why wouldn't they want to take advantage of these resources? And also, we say the world governments as if the world governments are always in agreement.
They're certainly not.
They're not. Like,
I would think, yeah.
Like, I was watching this video and it was like, people think that every government and every culture has the exact same motivations and thinks the exact same way as the one you live in. And that's just not true. Like, do we really think that they'd be like so in agreement that they would all cover up the Hollow Earth together? And I'm just thinking, why would they pass up resources?
It's true.
And apparently, if you can just fall into them, don't you think someone would have fallen into one of them?
It would be more well known if you can just accidentally find them. Especially if one's in Kansas.
Just take a tumble into the Hollow Earth. Can you get back out after you fall in?
Depends on how gravity works.
I don't know. So, Ethan, as we wind down, what do you think about this theory?
Can you look something up for me? When was the scientific method invented? 16th century.
Mm-hmm. Francis Bacon.
Which was, what, about 1500s?
I always get so tripped up. When was the 16th century? 1500s.
1500s, so. And when were, a lot of these were after that?
They were in the 1800s.
In the 1800s.
So, well,
So
Edmund Halley was in the late 1600s.
So the scientific method had been...
and Symes were in the 1800s.
It's amazing how much of the theories around this are just like, yeah, I think that's what it is. Why not? And like so much of it is just made up. Yeah, the earth is hollow. And okay. We didn't know anything about the earth. That's fine. You can think it's hollow. I don't have a problem with that. But it's all the things inside that they're just making up. Like, there's no evidence. So why are you saying...
don't think the Garden of Eden's in there.
Why is anyone saying that there's stuff in there? Because there's nothing. You're just like,
well,
oh, yeah.
Here's the thing.
There's 15 feet tall people in there. Why?
Here's the thing that you're not taking into account. We have civilizations across the whole world that have, as part of their religion, history, or mythology, that there are people within the earth. So people sometimes think there's truth to these kinds of legends.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Can't say they're just making it up because
they are.
They're not.
They are.
You are so close-minded.
Yeah. About this, absolutely.
They're not just making it up. You have to take that into account. Do I think that the Earth is hollow? No.
I think.
Do I think that there
the
are
are
people living inside the Earth? No. But I can understand you don't know. You have no real way of knowing.
I guess.
And you have all these, ancient...
That guy in 2007 should have known better.
Yeah. But... he should have, yeah.
Everybody that thinks the Earth is hollow now, come on.
Come on. You gotta be a little nicer, buddy.
Come on.
Please.
Please, come on.
So I'm
have evidence.
I'm gonna chalk this one up to the no category for you. Then you don't believe this.
Safe bet.
Okay, so Ethan doesn't believe it. Let us know what you guys think about these theories.
Do you?
No, I already said I didn't.
Oh, I wasn't listening to you.
Yeah, I know. You never do. Yeah. Anyways, let us know what you guys think about this. Do you think that the Earth is hollow? Why am I not? Did you pay attention to geology? I didn't. And do you think that there's anything inside the Earth? And if you do, what is it? Let us know what you guys think. We're always interested in hearing your theories. So yeah, thanks for listening. And we will be back in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye.